On the island of Sodor, there are many types of rolling stock, but none are more important than brake vans. Brake vans are a piece of rolling stock that are coupled to the back of a goods train and are fitted with very strong brakes to help the engines with slowing down and stopping the train if the troublesome trucks became too troublesome. Every now and then, when another engine brings their trains from the other railways, they leave their brake vans in the sidings until it's time to go home. One day, Bruno was sitting in the yard waiting patiently for his next train. It had been a few hours since Ivor had his trains to take, and Bruno began to feel bored. Just then he heard a whistle, and looked over at the entrance of the yards. Tootle was shunting a train into one of the sidings. However, something else caught Bruno's attention. He glanced at the back of the train. There, being shunted 2 sidings down from him, was a blue caboose, with a brown ponytail hair and a purple cap. She looked very smart. Bruno was impressed. Tootle left his train in the siding and left the yard. Bruno decided to speak up. Bruno looked away, blushing. He didn't know how to answer. Luckily, he didn't have anything else to say, as Lily puffed in, shunting Annie and Clarabel. But Katie didn't answer, because she was too busy talking to Annie and Clarabel. Meanwhile, Bruno was still sad on his way to Vickerstown. Later on that day in the yards, Katie was sitting alone again. Bruno was about to speak up when Philip was shunting some trucks in the yard. They were causing trouble for Philip and slipped their brakes on. The trucks thought Bruno was so funny, they laughed so hard that the brakes slipped off. Just then, Percy arrived to collect his mail train. Bruno was coupled up to the back of the train, so he couldn't see Katie, but Katie didn't answer. The next morning, Percy and Bruno returned from their trip. Bruno was excited to tell Katie all about it, but he soon fell asleep. When he woke up the next morning, Katie wasn't there. But on the way to Bruno and Tom Jerry, the trucks were making a plan. The trucks were ready. They bumped into each other and broke away. Bruno applied his brakes as the trucks raced along. He was getting near the harbour. Emma saw Bruno approach Duck's passenger train. Thinking quickly, Emma's driver jumped out of the cab and pulled the lever to change the points. Bruno left his wheels switch tracks, then he noticed which track he was on. Later on, Bruno was lifted out of the sea and was brought back to the yard to be looked over. Katie was there as well. And with that, Katie left Sodor, and Bruno looked off into the sunset, knowing he had made a new friend.